you very much, Chair General J.S. Bajwaji, and thank you very much, Chairman of this Gyan Setu think tank, General KJ Singh, and other colleagues who are providing me this opportunity to interact with on this subject. So, I have certain advantages because military officers, they were my teachers when I was doing my post-graduation. Thereafter, I got the opportunity to teach military officers in the staff college, in the higher command, and in the NDC. And also had the chance to, having chance to guiding them for the PhD research. But at the same time, when I see, the understanding about certain subjects from the academic perspective, then every time whenever we are interacting, we have to reorient ourselves, because whenever we try to learn a subject, we learn from our own professional domain. But in academics, first of all, there is a lot of scope, there is a lot of freedom when we try to understand some geographical region, some conflict situation, some opportunity of cooperation. In that context, first of all, I would like to introduce the concept of geopolitics. How this concept of geopolitics that evolved over the period of time. Beginning, it started, coming into light or into debate with the advent of colonialism. And two of the major school of thoughts, those emerged during the colonial period. One was the British school of geopolitics, and another one is the German school of geopolitics. When I see how the British school led by the Mackinder, how he is, distinguishing himself from the German school of thought, he is looking at Britain, how Britain can retain its colonies, how Britain can exploit the resources, raw material, especially the manpower. So, in that context, we need to understand geopolitics. But at the same time, when we look at the Haushofer, Karl Haushofer, who was a military officer during the First World War I, he was a major general. Then thereafter, he traveled to Japan. Then he started reorienting German geopolitics, and he started a German school of geopolitics or political geography in Munich. Then his orientation was developing the concepts like Lebensraum, autarky, that is different connotation. Now we need to understand what is the difference between these both, German school and the English school. And third one is the American school led by Mahan, who contributed on importance of naval power. How the naval power that can contribute to become a nation, a great nation. So in that context, I would like to briefly explain, because I know there is a paucity of time, because being teacher, I know how to make maximum use of the time.
I'll set an alarm.
Yes, sir. That's why. I'll not take more than 10 minutes. You have allotted to me. Don't worry. I'll try to confine myself within 10 minutes. So these two concepts can be classified into the category of, this what we call classical school of geopolitics. Then there's a critical school of geopolitics, because as technology, with the advent of technology, with the advent of new economic order, new economic avenues, industrialization, the nature of geopolitics that also started changing. Now the non-state actors, they also started, playing a role in the geopolitics, which are not considered part of the classical school, which was advocated by Mahan, Mackinder, and Haushofer. Then in critical geopolitics, another actor that is quite recent, last 2 decades, that started playing very important role, that is the cyberspace. That is also very important, because now hackers can hack anybody's private server or the government servers. And this is how, these are the new technologies which have started emerging. Now, how these technologies, they started playing important role in shaping the new geopolitics. And at the same time, non-state actors, they have also started coming into fore. For example, parts of Syria, parts of Iraq, still under the control of the non-state actors. As we were discussing about Hamas, it is a non-state actor, but still playing a great role in shaping the geopolitics of Middle East. In these, connotations, in these perspectives, I would like to explain a bit. I mean, this is a primer. I mean, how this geopolitics of Middle East that can be understood. First of all, as the speaker already, the chief speaker, the chief guest, he had already explained how this process of this Middle East that came into being. How that is the making of Middle East. Earlier it was called that Near East. Near East was the colony areas. Egypt during the First World War, Egypt, Turkey, and the area which we call right now, Israel, Palestine. These areas were called the Near East. But when this Ottoman Empire, which was dominating these areas since 16th century, that came to an end after the World War I, then this region was started, the people started debating this region as Middle East from the colonial mindset. This is a Western perspective. If you ask anybody, from the Indian subcontinent, I would prefer to say this is not Middle East. For me, it is East-West.
West Asia.
West. So why? Because again, if you call it Asia, then in the larger context, Egypt and the areas of Northern Africa, those are influencing this region a lot. That we will forget. That will not come to the picture. Now you need to understand the nuances of the factors, actors, and the situations of the conditions in which the geopolitics of this present day Middle East that has been shaped. That you need to understand. For that, I would like to come to skipping to map of the world. If you look at this is a world map. This is how I see. Now, if you look at the territories, these are divided into three parts. You must have heard the name of earlier ISIS was called ISIL. L is called for Levant region. Now you must know which is the Levant region. Then there is a Gulf region. Gulf is generally, we are all thinking that it is the Arab world, but it is not the Arab world. It includes Shia Iran. This is also important. Without politics of Turkey, we cannot understand the Middle East. And there is a Maghreb region. Without that, we cannot understand. That is parts of North America that we cannot understand Middle East. In that context, I would like to, show you. This is the area during the World War periods. Or this area was called the Levant region. Now this is the Gulf. This whole is the Gulf, and this area around the Mediterranean states, North African states of Arab states. They are called the Maghreb region. Now Maghreb. Now you need to understand what are the actors if you want to look at the the formation of how to formulate how this geopolitics of Middle East has been formulated. It has been formulated on three different I would say three different perspectives. Religion is one thing, nationalism is another thing, and within nationalism there is again sub-nationalism that is also very important. That I would like to I would like to quote certain examples. So just 2 minutes. I'll come to the examples only. I'll not. There are many examples. For example, there is a Arab League. Arab League. Iraq is a Arab country. Syria is a Arab country. Egypt is a Arab country. In Cairo, in the post-World War period, Arab League was founded. Now these three states They have been fighting for the supremacy in the Arab world. This is one of the classical example. In the Islamic sense, Iran is Islamic, but it is Shia, as earlier it was debated. Syria, which is predominantly Sunni, but President Assad, he was a Shia. He had been ruling that part of the region. Again, the legacy of the Ottoman Empire that we need to understand. Ottoman Empire that was led by Sunnis, and again they got, they came into conflict with Iran. And one of the most important things, which as a student of, be it geography, be it political science, be it economics, you should all understand that there are three states. Those were never under the colonial rule. They had never been under colonial rule. These were, because why I'm consulting this, because I don't want to be incorrect. Anyway, these states were, basically Iran was never under the colonial rule. Egypt was never under the colonial rule. And Saudi Arabia was never under the colonial rule. These are the three states in this region. They had never been under the colonial rule. Then coming to the last point, why this region is important for from Indian perspective. Since I am being given the responsibility to give the primer. Primer is the basic, the foundation. So that is I may go into deep to dig out the other nitty-gritties of the region, but how it is important for India. One is the Suez route, which was discussed in the morning by Colonel Bedi. Suez route is very important thing. Then the supply routes, those are very important for the hydrocarbon sources coming to India. This is one thing. Second thing, which we need to understand, that we have to have our Kashmir politics, for example. Kashmir politics or the Kashmir policy was greatly influenced by the policies of the Middle East. So these are the two factors on which I would like to conclude. Later on, when we'll get the chance to, answer the questions if somebody raises, there I would like to, because I just wanted to complete in the 10 minutes.
Yes,
So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.